I don't know if you saw my other video where I made the dragons and the dragon egg. I'm absolutely in love with these molds. What I'm going to do is see if I can make them out of Resincrete. Now, I've got a couple of other tips as well to go with this video on using Resincrete. That will be really, really helpful. I've chosen just one of the dragons, and that's the Speak No Evil, because I think he is the cutest, or she is the cutest. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do afterwards to colour them so they're really effective. But I've also got some other tips about colouring them as well. Now I'm going to weigh out my Resincrete, and I'm going to make up 600 grams of this. I'm doing it in the large mixing bowl that comes with my toolkit. It's a great toolkit, so check it out. I'll link it in the description below. Now that might look like, oh my goodness me, that's all going to spill out. Well, what I haven't already spilt on the side, look. It actually won't spill out as soon as I add the water to it. So now we've got 600 grams there of Resincrete powder. And we need to add 30 grams of water to every 100 grams of powder. Now, if you're working in ounces or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still 30 to 100. So I'm going to add my 150 grams of water. And if I haven't got enough mixed up once I've mixed all this up, then it's not a problem. I can quickly mix up some more and put that on the top. It isn't going to make any difference whatsoever to the curing or how it looks. The other thing is, when you're mixing, and especially when you're mixing a lot like this, always mix it by hand. Never be tempted to use an electric mixer, because what you'll find is it will just agitate this far too much and it will set up. And this is an all-natural product. 180. I should have used 180, not 120. So I'm going to put that back on there. I'm going to add another 30 to it. There we go, 180. I didn't quite put enough water in it. There's my calculations, you see. I shouldn't be loud out on my own. So give this a mix through, making sure you've got no lumps. And you'll find it, if you're really careful, unlike me, that you'll mix this and push it to the side without it getting any lumps in. If you get any lumps, just drag them off on the side of your thing there, and they should come out. Make sure you scrape around the bottom as well, because you can get powder that sticks to the bottom of this, and then it's not getting actually mixed into your water. And it should be like a single cream consistency. And that's what I love about Resincrete. Because it is a thin mix, it gets into all the nooks and crannies and everywhere. And you get some great results without any real bits missing from your mould. Oh, we mixed up. There's always a bit that I miss. Give that a little bit of a turn. See how quickly it mixes? It mixes so quickly. Well, here's a great bit of information for you that Resincrete have just told me about. That the flower mould with the whole kit and the angel kit, which come with Resincrete and everything that you need, great presents for someone, instead of being $25.99, are reduced to $13.99. But it is only while stocks last, and I know they are going quickly because my members group have already had this link, because they always get special offers first before everybody else. So the discount code is in the description below, along with the link to follow to get these at these brilliant knockdown prices. Get them now, put them by for Christmas, or use them yourself and have some fun. Great value, amazing value. I'm going to order some. So because what I've got planned for this afterwards, what I'm going to do first is take some of this white colour away by using the Resincrete black pigment. Now I don't want it to be completely black. I just want it to be a light grey, and I've found that that allows me, for the next stage that I'm going to be doing, to get a nicer even coat. And these colours are great, they work exceptionally well. I'm going to mix that all in because I don't want it to be marbled in any way. I want it to be nicely mixed in and homogenised with that. That's my word of the day today, homogenised. Hope I've used it right. Oh, look how messy I am. Right, and there we go, that's all lovely and mixed. The next thing I'm going to do is get my Resincrete, well, no, the next thing I'm going to do is clean up my mess, because I am so messy. And because this is an all-natural product, it's going to clean up really easy also, and it's not going to do any harm to anywhere. What I'm going to do is put my moulds on here like that before I fill them up, and you'll see why in a second. Those of you who've watched my channel before a lot will know why. And firstly, I'm going to fill that one to nearly full, and then give it some squidgy widgy around the sides and a bit of tappy wappy all the way around those sides to enable that to release any of the trapped bubbles. And because it's so thin, unlike other sculpting powders like this, it should just knock those bubbles off. Don't be as rough as I am. Try and be a bit gentler. So there we go. So that one now is fine. And then I'm going to fill that right up to the top of the mould, which is obviously the bottom of this mould, really. Then the top bit that goes on it, right up to the edge. And that was a perfect amount for those two. Brilliant. And now I'll mix up some more and fill that up in a sec. Now, the reason I put it on a board is because you can tap a board really easily and it will help disperse those bubbles. But also, any bubbles that were there, because it's nice and thin, will come up to the top anyway. But tapping it on a board helps. It also enables me to move this to one side so I can get on with another project, which helps a great deal. Okay, so I've got my Resincrete mixed up now for this dragon, and I'm going to pour a little bit in to start with, and then do some squidgy-widgy around the actual horns and the ears to ensure that they are full of that. Resincrete you can demold after 30 minutes, but because this has got some really delicate bits in it, around the horns and things like that, I will leave this probably at least 5 hours, if not overnight, to allow that moisture to go out, and then it isn't quite as fragile in these detailed molds. And you're less likely to break bits off it if you leave it at that amount of time, around the wings and all those sorts of things. I never waste it. I've got a little skull here that I'm going to fill up and do the same with it. There we go. So that's all filled up now. Leave these to cure, and then I'll show you how I'm going to decorate them and seal them, and what other thing that you can do with these as well, which will be a great little extra money earner. Well, these have all cured now. I left them overnight, and the reason I did that was because of the ears here, and I know they're quite thin, and I didn't want them to break, and they would have broken if I'd have tried to demold this too quickly. You do want to be gentle, and if you do break them, it's not the end of the world, and I'll show you what you can do to repair one if you break it. But be as gentle as possible when you're taking it out. Oh, you see, I have broken that. I just pushed my finger across it and broke it. So I can show you how to repair it quite easily. So I broke both of them in the end. So all you need to do is take those little fragile bits out, like that, from your mould. See, look how thin and fragile that is. And then find which one goes on where. So look, that one goes on there. Try not to do too much with it, because you don't want to be messing it about. Then take some ordinary white glue, like that, and paint a little layer on there first. Very thin layer. And let that dry. And then paint the same thin layer on your broken bits and let that dry as well. And while they're drying, let's do the other bits. So the skull, oh, that's come out so well. Look at that. And I can't wait to show you how I'm going to finish these off. Oh, the top of the egg has come out well. Now, look, I did have a couple of bits in there that I didn't mix properly, even though I tried to mix it really well. But that doesn't matter. And now the pot is out as well, and I think that has come out absolutely amazing. The lid fits in there really well, and I think we're going to do a lot with that. I'll show you in a second. Now, these bits are dry. So I need to check again which ears they go on. So that one goes on there. And now all we need to do is put some fresh glue on there. And the reason we've done it in 2 stages is because the first lot will have absorbed into that Resincrete, and this will now sit on the top and allow that to dry. And it will form a really strong bond. And then all I do is paint over the edge of the crack with the same white glue, and then let that dry, and you'll never ever know the difference. Well, these are completely dry now. They've had another 24 hours of drying. It's really important before you do anything to them that you let them fully dry. I did end up making all 3 of the dragons because I couldn't help myself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chrome these using the chrome pens. But before I do that, what's really important to do is seal them. Because if not, the chrome pen will just sink into it and you won't get a chrome finish on it. I always seal them as well before I paint them. And what I'm going to be using is a polyacrylic matte varnish to seal them with. But the first coat I'm going to do as a 50-50 with the polyacrylic and water. Actually, no, not 50-50. I'm going to do a polyacrylic and then I'm going to put a little bit of water in, about 25% of the amount of acrylic varnish that I've got there. I'm going to give that a good mix up, and then I'm going to coat everywhere with this, and it'll dry literally in a few seconds, but I will leave it about 15 minutes before I put the second coat on. Now with this, I'm only going to do half of it so I can show you what the difference is between sealing it and not sealing it. So that half's going to be sealed and the other half is not going to be sealed. And I'm definitely going to be sealing the rest because I've already got a home for them. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to seal all of them in exactly the same way. Well, the varnish now that I put on this is all dry and I've varnished everything. I've already painted the dragons, I can't wait to show you them. But I want to show you first the difference it makes in varnishing. So this is the side where I didn't put any varnish on. And as you can see, the metallic paints will go on these lovely. But they don't really stay metallic-y looking after they've dried. They kind of go that dull silvery colour look. Because what's happening is it's soaking into the porous Resincrete and giving you that kind of a finish to it, which is actually quite pretty in itself, but it's not what you want. But when we go over the side that has actually got varnish on, you'll see a massive difference. So look at the real big difference there is in that. So there we have the side that's been varnished, and there we have the side that's not varnished. It's a dull silver colour, and you can really see the difference on the front as well. How it's going around lovely and shiny, and then it goes dull. And just 2 coats of that watered down varnish really does give it a great finish. Now with the egg, I'm going to do this as 2 different colours. I'm going to do the actual egg itself in gold and the gems that go around the outside in silver. And this should cover really, really easily. Again, and it will stay shiny. Although the gold and the bronze colours aren't quite as mirror effect as the silver, but they still give a great finish. You'll also find once it's been varnished that it will slide on here much easier. The other important thing is with these paints is they're not water based, so it's important to ensure that you give enough time for it to dry before you touch it again, because if not it will come off. And normally in a warm room it takes about 2-3 hours to be touch dry, but you generally only need to give 1 coat on it, and that's why I coloured my Resincrete grey as well. It helps to cover the first coat much easier than if it was brilliant white. Well, I find, you might find different. And all you need to do is just push down on them and then it will release a bit more paint into it. I'm going to go ahead, I'll finish these off, and then I can't wait to show you what I've done with those dragons. And as I said, they've already found a home, so they'll be going to their new home tonight once I've finished this video. Well, they're all finished now. I'm so pleased with how they've come out, especially the little pot. I did that in 2-tone, so we've got silver chrome and then gold going around it. I think that egg has come out so pretty, and inside as well. I mean, without a doubt, the chrome silver one is my favourite one that has come out really cute. And that's the See No Evil. We've got the Hear No Evil and the Speak No Evil as well. And there's the one where it was only half done, so you could see the difference between when you seal it and when you don't seal it. And look, it really does make a massive difference. So always give it a seal. Easy to do, and they've already got their forever home. So they'll be off to their forever home in probably the next day or so. There is so much to do with Resincrete, and once it's dry, it is really, really hard. I love the product. I think it gives a great result. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out the video where I did an experiment using Resincrete, which I'll link above. Take care, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Bye.